Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of my channel. My name is Akinyismane, and if you're new here, you're most definitely welcome. So today's video is on things that I'd tell my younger self. Yeah, things that I wish I knew back then that I didn't know, but now I know, and I'm a better me now. Yeah. The first thing I tell myself is that it's okay to fail. Now, one thing about me is that I'm always so hard on myself. I expect myself to do things right, to get things right. Everything should be right and correct. And if I don't, or if I fail, I use that failure. I didn't really realize, but I kind of used to use the failure to define me or determine how I feel about myself. And now looking back, if I was to rewind time and go back to be the teenager that I was, or the younger self that I was then, I tell myself, you know what, if you fail at something, it's okay, it's fine. Learn from your experience, learn from what you've gone through. I'm still hard on myself these days. It's just that I'm trying to be lenient, and I'm trying to tell myself, you know what, it's our okay, fail, it's okay. Or if things don't really go your way, it's fine. Try and learn something from it, or try realize something from the kind of experience that I had. Yeah. The second thing that I'd tell my younger self is love yourself more. Love your skin, love your hair, love how you talk, love how you run, how you walk, how anything and everything that you do. And I think self-love just comes from accepting your good side and your bad side, your strengths and your flaws. And I feel like back then, my years back, I used to focus more, like, instead of looking at the good things that I have, the good things that I have to offer into this world, I used to look at the negative side and how can I, like, just the negative things. And that's not really necessarily negative, but things that are not exactly my strengths. And then I'd use that to make myself feel less of who I am. And I wish sometimes I just look back and I'm like, I wish I knew the things that I know now. I wish I had the kind of brain that I have now. Then I wouldn't do the things that I did, or I wouldn't have the kind of mindset that I had back then. So right now I'm okay with not being perfect, and I realize that not definitely everyone is, even those people may seem to be perfect, no one is really perfect. So right now I'm okay with my flaws, with my weaknesses, and yeah. So I tell myself, Fiona, love yourself more. Accept yourself for who you are, because self-love comes from accepting your flaws and your weaknesses and your good side, and appreciating the good and the strength that you have. Yeah. And then the next thing that I tell myself is, Fiona, just don't give a fuck about what people think about you. Especially focus more on my high school life. I cared so much about what people thought about me, and I wanted people to think good things about me. And if they didn't, it kind of took a toll on me, and I felt like Miss Kwangi for people. Like, I felt like it was my obligation, and had the need to make people think good things about me. I might see me in a certain way, and right now I'm just like, I just don't give a fuck, So I tell my younger self, you're not a journey. Whether they think good things about you or bad things about you, that's none of your business. You don't give just don't give a shit about it. Like, hijalishi, you can't change change how people think about you, how people perceive you to be. What matters most is how you feel about yourself, and what you think about yourself, and how you can make yourself a better person. Si shughuli yako kujua mtu anafikiria nini juu yako, because whether they think good things or bad things, high change. Sometimes I wish I could rewind time and kind of play it back like do it again, I swear some of the decisions or some of the kind of thoughts that I had about myself would be totally different, and it's normal. I feel like sometimes we need to go through these experiences to teach us or make us a better person on this earth. I needed to go through these experiences to make me who I am right now, because so many things that I know now, I wasn't really taught by someone. Oh, Fiona, you do this or do that. I just learned them from my experiences, whether they at the easy way or the hard way. Either way, it still taught me to be a better person. It has molded me to be who I am right now. So right now, I don't even care, like so I won't even bother, And then the next thing is, which kind of ties up to this point that I've just talked about, is people's opinion of you is just a reflection of who they are, or rather how they feel about themselves. If someone thinks you're ugly, chances are that kind of negativity is inside them, and that's how they feel about themselves. So they just pour out the negativity onto you, and if you don't realize it, you just absorb it and let it be part of how you feel about yourself. So right now, sometimes someone can say something negative to me, and I just think about it at the back of my head. I'm like, you just give what you have. Ideally, you give what you have. If you have negativity, you give negativity. If you have positivity, you give that's what you give. I always say, if you have a cup of water and then you pour it onto the ground, there's no way to pick up a ground equal juice or equal chai. Like, it will just be water. So ideally, you just give what you have. So if people perceive you to be in a certain way, chances are a 90% chance that's how they feel about themselves. So they just pour out what they have, from that's why the Bible also talks about, how you just, from what you have in your heart, that's what you pour it outside. It's what you have inside, that's what you give out to the world. So if someone's always negative to you, telling you bad stuff, just think about it. That's what they have. That's how they feel about themselves. So say at I'm talking Akinyismane something negative that they don't like about me, that's just how they feel about themselves. It's not that, I'm not saying that if someone tells you, like, tries to correct you, it means, or like give you some positive criticism, it means that they hate you. Of course, you have to distinguish between positive criticism and someone just pouring negativity onto you. So you definitely have to distinguish between the two sides to it. So right now, I don't care. Like, I've realized, the older you grow, the more reason why you come to understand what's important and what's not, and you come to distinguish between positive and negative, and you just care less about it. So if I was to go back to time, I wouldn't really absorb the negativity that people are trying to pour onto me. Yeah. And then the next thing is, you know what, Fiona, you're gonna turn out okay. Like, it's going to be okay. Don't worry so much about the future. Back then, I used to worry so much about, like, how's my life gonna turn out? How am I gonna be in the long run? Like, how's my future gonna turn out? But right now, I just live like one day at a time. I don't really, I'm not really anxious about the future. Like, God has my back. God knows best about my life. So He has the best interest of me at heart. So, why am I worrying? If God can take out the trees, the birds, and everything else, the vegetation, and yet at all human beings are like way higher in terms of rank compared to easy vitu zingine zote, then why am I worrying? So right now, I don't even, like, I'm just like, I'm trusting the timing of my life. Kwenye niko sahi, hapa ndo nafaa nikuwe, and I'm supposed to work with what I have right now, So even if I want something in the future to turn out like this, like that, itakuja time yenye Mungu anaona inafaa. Things will turn out right when God feels and sees that, what, right now is what you need, so I'm gonna give you this. I used to worry so much, like, what happened to me? Like, what am I gonna study one day? Like, what career am I gonna have? What kind of lifestyle am I gonna live one day? I used to worry about so many things. And right now I'm just like, there's some things that I actually wanted them to happen back then that have already happened, and I'm like, what was I worrying? You know, and there are things that I want right now in this time of my life, and I don't have them, and I'm like, God knows, like God will give me when He feels like I'm mature enough to handle such things. So He has my back. I'm His daughter, so why am I worrying? You know, Fiona, you'll be okay. You'll turn out fine. Don't worry so much about it. And then last but not least, Fiona, choose your friends wisely. Choose your friends wisely. I've had so many friends, and especially in high school, I used to feel like if you have so many friends, like they're better. But right now, I'm like, they have to count the closest of friends that I have in my life. They're less than the number of fingers on one hand. Like, just because I talk to you or just because we have something in common doesn't necessarily mean that we are friends and that we're supposed to be together forever. You know, I used to have friends that I used to tell that, you know, until like one day we get married, I have to be part of your lineup, like I have to be there, and if I'm not there, we're not friends. And those friends that I used to tell such things, right now we don't even talk. Not because there's anything wrong, it's just that our friendship ilikuwa na time, like it had a timing and it elapsed, and right now we are not meant to be. And there's something that I also realized. There are 3 kinds of friendships. There are friends who are meant to be with you, like they're meant to be part of your life, come rain, come sunshine, come good, come bad, that they'll always be there for you regardless of what's going on in your life. And then there are kind of friends that will always, like, they'll only be in your life, or rather they'll only be your friends if you have something in common. Once that thing that you have in common in Aisha, that friendship just, you know, like that's it, we're done, that's fine. And then the third kind of friendship is the kind of, you know, the kind of people who are only your friends because you have something commonly against, like you have something that you're against, that is common. You like, you believe in, maybe you have like some kind of belief that you both of you are against, but then again they are not necessarily meant to be in your life forever, because maybe if something happens to you one day and they feel like what's going on in your life is not what they want in their life, wataenda, you know. So, and the kind of friends I'm talking about, those who are meant, like who will be for you, come rain, come sunshine. Okay, I'm telling you, even 5 is like a lot. Like they are less than 5, I swear, you know. And I've come to learn usikach feeling na my friends, like friendship. I take friendship seriously, but again, I don't take friendship seriously. Just because right now we seem like we're the best of friends doesn't necessarily mean we'll always be friends forever. There's some friendships that have a certain, like they have a lifespan. That's what I want to say. They have a lifespan. So whether they are in your life right now and you guys seem to be like the best of friends, like besties, doesn't necessarily mean they'll always be there for you. And I've also had friends that have had to drop or give up just because when me and you are put together, bad reaction, you know, like we're not, like it's not a good thing. Or there are friends that have dropped also because I felt like when I'm around you, it doesn't bring out the best of me out. Like I'm not at my best, or friends who just make me feel like, you know, like they just make you less of who you are, you know. So, and I'm sure there are also friends that I've had, like we looked like you are the best of friends, honestly, and right now we don't talk just because it wasn't a good thing for me. It didn't make me feel good in the inside, and anything that does not make you feel good in the inside, then you don't want it around you, you know. So the people who I also used to talk to and now I don't, just because I felt like, you know what, Fiona, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your inner you. You need that inner peace inside you, because any human being without that inner peace is not a good, like it just eats you up. Nikama some chemical reaction that just eats you up and you die, you know. It feels like that ideally. So if I was to turn back, like if I was to rewind time, there are some people who I would never ever have in my life. And it's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with them or anything wrong with me. It just means that we were not meant to be friends, you know, like we were not meant to be friends, you know. And there's nothing wrong with that. And some people would think that I was a bad friend, or I was being rude, or you know, I ignore them, because there's some people who I don't text anymore, I don't talk to them anymore, I don't, you know, call them anymore, and they may tend to look at it like, you know, you're just trying to be, you're rude, you know, you're not a good friend. But ideally what I'm doing is, I call it taking care of myself, taking care of my inner peace, taking care of who I really am. And it's okay to drop friends and not even explain anything, but like, you don't owe them an apology, you don't owe them an explanation, because ideally they won't even understand. So yeah, it's okay. I'm sure there are also people who are probably my friends and they just choose to drop me just because they felt like when me and you are together, it's not a good thing, you know. So it doesn't even just boil down to friendship. Any kind of relationship that you have to ensure that you're at peace, you're okay, you're happy first of all, you know, because you can't make anyone else happy if you can't make yourself happy. You can't be good to anyone if you're not good to yourself. So those are the five or six, like the 6 things I'd tell my younger self if I was to rewind time. There's some things I wouldn't do, there's some things I wouldn't say, but again, also I don't regret, because I feel like these are the experiences that have molded me to be who I am right now, to have the kind of mindset and the brain that I have right now. So I don't regret ideally. I have learned, be it the easy way or the hard way. We all go through these things. There are things like, I'm happy to look back and realize that I've grown, you know, not just physically but also mentally and emotionally. So yeah, I feel like it was important for me to talk about it, because we all of us go through these things, and I'm sure in one or the other you guys relate to it. So I'd really love to know, guys, like, are there things that you guys have gone through or things that you guys have done in the past and right now you're just like, I wouldn't do that, you know, like you realize that you have grown. So if there's anything that you guys have, like you guys are relating to in regards to what I've talked about, in regards to the stuff that I tell my younger self, comment down below and tell me about it. Let's have a conversation, let's talk about it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So up until, oh, and another thing, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any other videos that I'll be posting in the future. So up until the next video, people.